Top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Gas station blast accused claims sole responsibility. Government deliberately failing to hold regular parliamentary sittings. WALTON-DESIR. MOHAMEDS seek urgent CCJ intervention. Challenges bias. Push to halt extradition proceedings. Opposition leader calls for state-funded overseas treatment after death of 12-year-old. And in sport, prolific striker OMARI GLASGOW to headline Guyana's 23-man CONCACAF squad for upcoming series. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Monday 23rd March 2026 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We will tell you this evening that a dramatic development today in the case surrounding the deadly explosion at the mobile gas station, as the man accused of orchestrating the attack has indicated his willingness to take full responsibility. Travis Chase opens tonight's broadcast.
New developments unfolded today at the Georgetown Magistrates Court in the case stemming from last year's fatal explosion at a city gas station. The accused, Daniel Alexander Ramres Podemo, appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith Magusti, where his attorney disclosed that his client has indicated a willingness to accept responsibility for the attack. The court heard that this position followed a recent meeting between Podemo and his lawyer, during which he reportedly provided new information about the incident. Those disclosures have since prompted the defense to engage the prosecution in discussions about how the case may now proceed. The hearing had originally been scheduled to advance committal proceedings involving Podemo and several co-accused. However, the direction of the case shifted after the court was informed of the accused's updated stance. Speaking through an interpreter, Podemo indicated that while he would rely on legal guidance, he maintains that others before the court in connection with the matter were not involved. He also told the court that he wants the case resolved without delay, expressing concern that individuals he believes to be innocent should not remain entangled in the proceedings. When pressed by the magistrate, Podemo signaled his intention to admit his role, stating he was directly involved in executing the act after obtaining an explosive device. Despite those assertions, the prosecution made it clear that any change in the trajectory of the case would require input from the Director of Public Prosecutions. The court was advised that a formal submission from the defense is needed before the matter can be reviewed at that level, a process expected to take approximately 2 weeks. The case has been postponed to April 20. The October 2025 explosion resulted in the death of 7-year-old Soraya Bourne and remains one of the most devastating incidents in recent history. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Member of Parliament Amanzo WALTON-DESIR believes there should be constitutional provisions to ensure regular sittings of the National Assembly. WALTON-DESIR says this will ensure no government should cause long delays before issues and motions are debated. Marvin Cato reports.
Since the conclusion of the 2025 general and regional election, the 13th Parliament has had only 3 major sittings to date. The inaugural sitting occurred on November 3, 2025, to swear in members, followed by subsequent sittings in February 2026 for the 2026 budget debate and consideration of estimates. Member of Parliament Amanzo WALTON-DESIR believes that this is inadequate.
If they were serious, we would have had regular sittings of the National Assembly.
She said there are so many questions posed to ministers which requires answers, as well as many motions to be debated and issues ventilated at the level of the parliamentary sectoral committees that have not been addressed. She reminded that the sectoral committees are yet to convene.
by now, every Guyanese should be aware and should have come to the conclusion that the PPP's talk about democracy and about strong democratic institutions is just that talk.
She said the government is focused on show and not the people's work, pointing out that the president was quick to criticize Cuba and called for the status quo to change and for democratic institutions to function, while Guyana's parliament has only met 3 times since November 2025.
You're not holding parliament. You're supposed to be a parliamentary democracy, but since the reading of the budget, parliament has not been called.
She stated that there has been a complete breakdown in the sectoral committee meeting, highlighting that in the 12th parliament, the Foreign Relations Sectoral Committee only met 3 times. During the 12th parliament, Venezuelan aggression towards Guyana was at its peak over its false claims that the Essequibo region is their territory. She said issues of unchecked migration still plagues the nation, and yet the parliament is not meeting regularly. She reminded that the Constitution clearly states that sovereignty belongs to the people and the people should exercise it through their duly elected representatives. She argues that as the government continues to fail to hold regular parliamentary sit-ins, they are impinging and curtailing the sovereignty of the very people they claim to serve. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Fresh legal action has been filed at the Caribbean Court of Justice as U.S. indicted businessmen Nazar and Azruddin Mohammed intensify efforts to halt their extradition proceedings, arguing that the process now underway is fundamentally flawed and constitutionally unsafe. Travis Chase is on that story.
Nazar and Azruddin Mohammed have moved to the Caribbean Court of Justice, seeking special leave to appeal a recent Court of Appeal ruling, while also requesting an urgent stay of ongoing extradition proceedings before the Georgetown Magistrates Court. The application, filed on March 20, 2026, challenges the appellate court's decision, which upheld the High Court's findings that the Home Affairs Minister acted in an administrative capacity when issuing the authority to proceed. The Mohammeds argue that the ruling is fundamentally flawed, contending that the minister's decision was tainted by bias and political influence, and that it triggered a process affecting their constitutional rights, including liberty and a fair hearing. In detailed grounds filed before the CCJ, the applicants contend that the Court of Appeal failed to properly consider persistent public statements by senior government officials, which allegedly labeled them as criminals prior to any trial. They argue that these statements, combined with the minister's political position, created both presumed and apparent bias, thereby undermining the legality of the ATP and the extradition process itself. The Mohammeds further warn that the extradition proceedings are advancing at a rapid pace with multiple consecutive hearing dates and could be concluded within weeks. They argue that without an immediate stay, they risk being committed to prison pending extradition, which would effectively defeat the purpose of their appeal and expose them to irreversible prejudice. They're asking the CCJ to set aside the Court of Appeal's decision, halt the extradition proceedings, and treat the matter with urgency. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Join us after the break. We have more news for you.
We finance everything with Courts Ready Finance, from educational expenses and those unplanned emergencies. Get it done with financing through Courts Ready Finance. All you need to apply is a valid ID, proof of income, proof of address, and 2 references. Get quick approval and flexible monthly installments, plus credit protection insurance. Apply in store or online at courts.com. Courts Ready Finance. Ready when you are. Conditions apply.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Krishna Rao Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC, Manripo, East Coast, and Marara, or call 220-9624, 629-4021, or 619-7880. At Krishna Rolf Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Need to open a bank account? There's no time to make the drive to stand in line. Get ready. Opening an account with Republic On Board is easy from anywhere at any time, even while waiting for a food order. So you don't have to skip lunch. Republic On Board. Fast, easy, secure. Visit www.republiconboard.com to open your account today.
With the HGP Nightly News, a new and troubling drug trafficking trend has been detected in Guyana after authorities intercepted a shipment of cannabis-infused beverages designed as ordinary soft drinks at the country's main port of entry. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit is now issuing a national early warning. Travis Chase again reports.
The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit has issued a national alert following the seizure of more than 200 suspected THC-infused beverages at the Chedijagan International Airport. According to the agency, a total of 222 cans were intercepted on March 18, concealed inside storage bins among clothing, paper bags, and other mixed cargo items. Investigators believe the beverages originated from the United States and were designated to mimic regular soft drinks. Kanu says this discovery highlights a growing shift in drug trafficking methods, with smugglers increasingly turning to low-odor, consumer-style cannabis products that can easily pass as everyday items. Authorities are warning that despite the legality of such products in some countries, cannabis-infused beverages remain illegal in Guyana under existing narcotics laws, and possession or distribution could result in criminal charges. The agency is also raising serious health concerns, noting that consumption of these products can lead to impaired judgment, anxiety, hallucinations, and even overdose, particularly when consumed unknowingly through beverages. Officials also say the resemblance of the drinks to common beverages significantly increases the risk of accidental use by children and teenagers. Kanu is urging members of the public to remain vigilant, avoid suspicious imported drinks, and report any questionable products or information to authorities. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
The Ministry of Agriculture is disputing claims by the Maikoni farmers in relation to the land they currently occupy. The ministry also refutes utterances by an opposition member of parliament as reckless, inflammatory, and a calculated attempt to mislead the Guyanese public. Marvin Cato reports.
The Maikoni cattle farmers last week raised concerns regarding their farmlands. However, the Ministry of Agriculture claims the land used by the Maikoni cattle farmers are state lands and are being developed for critical drainage and irrigation infrastructure that will directly benefit thousands of farmers. Member of Parliament representing a Partnership for National Unity, Vince Roy Jordan, claims that statement is false and it is an effort by the government to take what is not theirs.
These farmers have been there for over 50, 60 years that some can recollect. And from all that they know is that the lands came down rather from their ancestors. So I don't know what position the government has in terms of state land.
According to the MP, farmers along the Maikoni East Coast corridor have lived, worked, and sustained their families on ancestral lands while doing cattle rearing. The farmers say they are disappointed that without consultation or warning, their grazing lands are being cleared and infrastructure taking shape. MP Jordan believes communities are being sidelined, voices are being ignored, and farmers are disproportionately being affected is a cause for concern. He stressed that development must never come at the cost of people's livelihood, dignity, and heritage.
If it is so, then all of the land should be state lands, because bordering those lands or right next door to them are lands belonging to the Manichans, of whom they have ownership. And so how then in that area others can have ownership, and those that belong to the Afro-Guyanese are not owned by them.
Jordan said this has become a pattern of the government to take control of Afro-Guyanese lands. He said in Firish, where the NDC has control over lands, the state is now saying they have ownership. The MP stated these are worrying signs because ancestral lands are being coveted and the citizens are not being compensated for what has been passed down from generation to generation. He is of the view that where the government cannot have control, they claim it is state lands.
It can never be not a race issue in Guyana when only Afro-Guyanese are pushed off of their lands.
The MP stressed that when Indo-Guyanese are having issues with their lands, the government moves in, regularize the lands, or give them good housing and good access to housing and safety on their lands, while Afro-Guyanese are pushed off. He said if looked at in that context, it has to be a race issue, because when one race is given preferential treatment over the other, then it is a race issue, and it is a call for those who are representatives of all races to call for Afro-Guyanese to be properly treated. The MP said they have engaged lawyers on the issue and will take legal recourse, while the Ministry of Agriculture, through their statement, affirmed that the suggestion that the issue could be a race issue is either a gross misunderstanding of the facts or a deliberate effort to sow confusion and distrust, neither of which they claim is acceptable. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
The Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union, GAHU, will be hosting the 7th Caribbean Regional Conference of the International Union of Food, Agriculture, Hotel, Restaurant, Catering, Tobacco and Allied Workers Association, IUF, scheduled for March 26 through 27. The IUF, a global trade union federation representing approximately 10 million workers across 119 countries, will bring together some 50 trade unionists from across the Caribbean region and beyond to discuss strengthening regional collaboration and advancing workers' rights in the Caribbean context. Among the agenda items will be the election of a new IUF Caribbean Regional Committee comprising representatives from affiliated unions across the region. The union views the conference as a strong demonstration of regional solidarity and international workers' fraternity, reinforcing the shared commitment to advancing the rights and welfare of working people. Opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed has sharply criticized the government following the death of a 12-year-old. Here's that story. 12-year-old Marlon Jupiter has succumbed to T lymphoblastic lymphomia while his family struggled to raise funds for overseas treatment. Opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed has sharply criticized the government, describing the situation as a quote-unquote national disgrace, noting that while the 2026 national budget allocated $161.1 billion to the health sector, Marlon's family was left to publicly appeal for just $7.3 million Guyana dollars or $35,000 to cover the cost of a bone marrow transplant overseas. Mohammed said, quote, "This is the reality of Guyana today. The government boasts of billions for hospitals, equipment, and upgrades, yet a child dies because critical treatment is unavailable here and his family could not raise the money in time." End of quote. He contrasted the shortfall against other allocations, pointing out that the Office of the President received $300 million and the Men on the Mission program $900 million for humanitarian works, while Marlon's family was forced to rely on donations. Mohamed further criticized what he described as wasteful spending on conferences, travel, and procurement practices, claiming that ministerial kickbacks often exceed the amount Marlon's family needed. He questioned the value of building hospitals if life-saving treatments remain out of reach. What is the purpose of record-breaking budgets if they cannot save lives? Mohamed called for a policy shift to ensure availability of specialized medical services which are unavailable locally, saying the state should step in to fund overseas treatment without delay or bureaucracy. He said, quote, "We long to see a government that truly puts people first and values service above self," end quote. Stay tuned. We have more news for you on the other side of this break.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Celebrate with us at Courts. We have what you need at the biggest season sale. Save with great deals and huge savings on select items store-wide. Get unbeatable values on TVs, new arrivals in furniture. Save on select bedroom sets, large appliances, free gifts, and much more. Shop now, pay later. Get huge savings this season. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offers end February 28, 2026. Conditions apply.
With the HGP Nightly News, as we continue, the Hydrometeorological Service has advised that unstable weather conditions are expected to affect Guyana over the next 6 days, from March 23 through 28, resulting in widespread rainfall with the potential for flooding and, in some cases, exacerbated existing flooding, particularly in low-lying and poorly drained areas. This is what can be expected according to the National Weather Watch Center. Widespread rainfall, at times heavy thunderstorms, particularly during the morning into early afternoon periods, and reduced visibility during intense showers. The center says it will continue to closely monitor this event and will issue bulletins as the need arises. ExxonMobil Guyana has announced it will soon pump $100 million to harness science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education in Guyana. The company says it will soon engage key stakeholders. Here is more.
ExxonMobil has announced a landmark commitment through its foundation, a $100 million investment aimed at enhancing STEM education in Guyana. This initiative, called the Guyana STEM Initiative, is focused on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and is designed to equip the nation's youth with the critical skills needed to thrive in an increasing technological world. ExxonMobil's commitment is not a standalone effort, according to President Alistair Routledge, but builds on a decade of experience supporting STEM education in Guyana, where its partnerships with universities, schools, and technical institutions have yielded meaningful progress.
The modern world demands more and more technology. And for the sustainable prosperity in the country, that students and people are given the opportunity to improve access to, improve the way they can learn science, technology, engineering, and math, such that they can then have better opportunities in the future, and that the country is more competitive on an international basis.
By improving STEM education, Ghana aims to open doors to diverse career paths for students beyond traditional roles, empowering them to explore opportunities in sectors ranging from agriculture and energy to tourism and beyond. The initiative involves several strategic examples and elements. ExxonMobil will collaborate closely with the government and existing education partners, ensuring that funds are directly applied to impact programs rather than absorbed into general government budgets. One key component is the introduction of Khan's Academy online platform to supplement current educational resources. Additionally, there will be enhanced training for STEM teachers, starting with selected educators receiving advanced instruction this September. At the university level, students will gain support in identifying career pathways and understanding the broad spectrum of options available to them, thus broadening their horizons and ambitions. Routledge said this investment is a pure donation with no expectation of cost recovery, reflecting the company's deep commitment to social development. Furthermore, the initiative is open to collaboration with other companies and partners who recognize the critical importance of STEM education. So you don't see that being a conflict of interest given that STEM Ghana will...
I don't see a conflict, no.
Okay.
I think what we're seeing is we have a much larger commitment, and so there is more opportunity.
ExxonMobil Ghana Limited will soon engage more stakeholders to execute this program, since it mirrors that of STEM Ghana, led by Dr. Karen Abrams. Efforts to contact Dr. Abrams for a comment proved futile. Antonio De reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Guyana, up your cash! Over 100 winners! More than $2.5 million in cash and prizes up for grabs. Win cash every week. Plus a chance to up your cash to $500,000. And that's not all. Win back your grocery bill up to $20,000 cash every week. Just grab any Buster Turbo Energy Drink, Fruitopia, Oasis Flavored Water, Fruita, or Viva Sparkling Flavored Water. Look for the code starting with BB, then visit at Buster Guyana on Facebook or Instagram for details. Up your cash today!
Guyana's oil and gas industry is creating more than energy. It's creating opportunity. Nearly 1/3 of the over 6,000 Guyanese employed in the sector hold professional positions, with many more working in technical and associate professional roles. This covers supply chain management, engineering, finance, and procurement. That means Guyanese skills are shaping Guyana's future. And with over 1,600 more jobs expected in the coming years, now is the time to step forward. The oil and gas sector needs more Guyanese skills, ideas, and ambition. Get trained, get certified, get involved. The future of Ghana's energy sector starts with you.
Do you live and breathe video? Do you love capturing moments and turning them into powerful visual stories? HGP TV is looking for a talented, energetic, and creative video editor/camera operator to join our growing media team full-time. If you enjoy working in a fast-paced media environment, collaborating with creative teams, and producing high-quality television content, this opportunity could be perfect for you. Send your CV and portfolio or showreel to carolfelix@hgptv.com or melody_piper@hgptv.com. WhatsApp 6571706. If you're passionate about media and ready to create amazing content with us, we want to hear from you.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Antonio D. Here's what you need to know as we turn attention to news in the region. The Bahamas has referred 98 suspected passport fraud cases to police, with potential staff involvement noted by Chief Passport Officer Nicholas Simonet. The police have identified 4 additional suspects in response to opposition leader Michael Pintar's claim of over 250 cases on the investigation. Simonet clarified that the number referenced was an earlier subset from the passport office and that he was unaware of a higher total. The cases were compiled through internal audits and submitted to the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Meanwhile, National Security Minister Wayne Munro revealed that 27 people have been arrested and charged across 21 cases, with 2 convictions secured and others pending. The investigations found fraudulent activities including sham marriages, falsified birth certificates, irregular naturalization records, and improper citizenship and immigration documents. Still with news in the region, President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Justice Winston Anderson urged regional countries to pursue a new climate change fund at a recent conference hosted by the UWI and IUCN. The event gathered jurists and scholars to discuss the role of international courts in addressing climate change, highlighting the vulnerabilities of small island developing states to extreme weather. He emphasized the critical role of law in ensuring equitable and effective responses to climate impacts, noting the importance of accessible legal remedies to support vulnerable states and their citizens in managing loss and damage and rebuilding their economies. The proposal for International Climate Injuries Compensation (ICIC) Fund aims to simplify liability issues for major GHG emitters and provide an alternative to lengthy litigation and ensure corporations share costs for climate-related harm, reinforcing cooperative accountability in climate justice. The ICS fund would be entirely consistent with the quote-unquote polluter pays principle and with the customary law responsibility of states to ensure that economic activities in their countries do not cause environmental harm or damage in other countries. The CCJ's participation at the forum, supported by the UWI and IUCN, reflects its continued commitment to contributing to global legal discourse and to advancing the rule of law in addressing pressing transnational challenges, including climate change. And on the international scene, the U.S. Department of State on Sunday issued an alert advising Americans across the world to exercise increased caution. The U.S. State Department warns Americans, especially in the Middle East, to be cautious of Iranian-linked attacks as President Trump's conflict with Iran continues. Travelers should expect potential airspace closures and remain alert for updates from U.S. embassies. Groups supportive of Iran may target other U.S. interests overseas or locations associated with the United States and/or Americans throughout the world, the State Department added. The alert comes 2 days after Iranian military spokesperson General Abolfazl Shehrachi said on national TV that parks, recreational areas, and tourist destinations anywhere in the world will no longer be safe for enemies of Tehran. Trump set a 48-hour deadline to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, threatening to bomb Iranian energy infrastructure. Iran warned that if targeted, they would fully close the strait. That has brought us to the end of Monday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Antonio Day saying goodbye and do have an enjoyable rest of the evening.
Let's now join Delwyn Neblet for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Monday, March 23, 2026. We begin tonight with football. The Ghana Football Federation have released their official squad selected to compete in the upcoming CONCACAF Series fixture against Dominica at Estadio Cibao on March 27th. The 23-member squad includes prolific striker OMARI GLASGOW as well as rising star Brian Wharton. Curtis Kelman, Akel Clark, Rashawn Rich, and Kelsey Benjamin have also been selected. More in football, action commenced in the 2026 Massey Distribution Under-18 Schools Football Tournament with multiple fixtures at the Queen's College Ground in Georgetown over the weekend. On Saturday, victories came in favor of Zeeburg Secondary, Charity Secondary, Ansgrove Secondary, and West Rheinveld Secondary. Sunday's victories were secured by Belladrum Secondary, Anna Regina Secondary, West Demerara Secondary, Annandale Secondary, New Amsterdam Secondary, Lott Secondary, 3 Mile Secondary, Santa Rosa Secondary, and Chase Academic Foundation. Moving into basketball, action resumed in the 2026 Schools Basketball League with Queen's College taking on President's College at the QC Court in Georgetown on Friday. President's College upstaged their hosts to secure a hard-fought 56-54 victory on the back of 14 points and 4 steals from player of the game, Teron Mohabir. Moving into cricket, action took place in the penultimate fixture of the 2026 American Cricket Society Tour to Guyana with ACS taking on the West Berbice Rising Stars at the Bushlot United Sports Complex in Region 5 on Friday. Batting first, ACS were bowled out for 231 in 30 overs as Kevon Bootytop scored with 72. Kevin Sinclair and Justin Dubé each picked up 2 wickets for West Berbice. When the West Berbice Rising Stars responded, they reached 231 for 1 in 18.1 overs on the back of an unbeaten 157 from Kevin Sinclair and an unbeaten 52 from Rashad Ghaffur. Finally, in cricket, action took place in the second CG United Women's T20 International between the West Indies and Australia at the Arnorsville Stadium in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Sunday. Batting first, Australia reached 164 for 5 off their allotment of 20 overs. Elise Perry top scored with 42 as 4 West Indian bowlers each picked up 1 wicket. When the West Indies responded, they were limited to 147 for 4 off their allotment of 20 overs. Alana King was the pick of the bowlers for Australia, taking 2 for 25 as the West Indies captain Hayley Matthews added 56 in a losing effort. The victory gives Australia a 2-0 series lead heading into the third and final fixture. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I am Delwyn Neblett reminding you to stay in the game.
Gas station blast accused claims sole responsibility. Government deliberately failing to hold regular parliamentary sittings. WALTON-DESIR. MOHAMEDS seek urgent CCJ intervention. Challenge bias. Push to halt extradition proceedings. Opposition leader calls for state-funded overseas treatment after death of 12-year-old. And in sport, prolific striker OMARI GLASGOW to headline Guyana's 23-man CONCACAF squad for upcoming series. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.